at some point, if it's Saturday night at 11:30, 12 o'clock, at this age, most of your friends aren't calling you. They're texting you. If you are calling me at 12 o'clock, I'm kind of worried about it. When you're calling me at 11, 12 o'clock, or even if my family members, they call back to back, I'm like, there's a reason. And usually it's not. It's usually my mom calling me to ask me what channel Discovery's on.
Yeah. Welcome back to the 811 Crew podcast. And like we said, if you are 50 plus, if you consider yourself a grown ass person, this podcast is the safe space for you to find out how you can live your best life.
Definitely.
I am Jason Turner. This is my co-host,
Ulysses Glenn, better known as Slugger.
Absolutely. And really, y'all, we are the unofficial experts on living your best life after 50.
Yes.
Now, we talked about kind of rules for the kids, new house rules over 50 for the kids, et cetera. Today, we're going to now get more into the adult rules. Like, what are the adult rules? Girlfriends, wifeys, zaddies, all of these type of terms. I mean, I just learned about this zaddy thing, but we're going to get into what's the terminology of love these days?
I cannot believe you have not heard, like,
that's because you've probably been called a zaddy. Like, don't you
listen to hip-hop music?
I do llisten to hip-hop music.
Do you know what a trap queen is?
I know what a trap queen is, but I will check the Urban Dictionary just to, reconfirm it.
All right, we got to make sure. Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
So, but no, after a certain age, to me, it doesn't make a issue. It's not an issue for me. But you will hear women say, I'm too old to be a girlfriend. We've been dating too long for this. But in reality, it's either you're married or you're either married, fiance, girlfriend.
Right.
Those are really the three. There's
those are three buckets.
Those are three buckets. You can, I know a lot of people live together. They have common law marriage in certain states, certain cities, whatever. So once you have common law, that's fine. You're basically married. Okay. But you do, I do think after a certain while you've been dating, there should be some type of
framework.
There should be a topic.
Some sort of framework,
Are we exclusive? Are we not exclusive? So if we're exclusive, you're boyfriend and girlfriend. If you're not exclusive, you're not. You're just someone I'm dating. And I do think that should be explained. It should be explained. People should see it. If you don't see me every day or you don't hear from me every day, we're more friends with benefits, or we're just dating.
Now, let me ask you this, but I think I agree with your terms, but I think that timing is really critical, right? Like, folk want to think, like, I feel like folks want to apply time to something. So if I've been dating you for like a month or 2 months, like, at what point in time should someone be trying to lock you down? Is it after the first date? You had a great dinner, they cook. I mean, what do you do on that?
If you're at this age, if you're seeing someone every weekend, we're going to the movies, we're bike riding, this is something we're doing every weekend for 2 or 3 months. At some point, a conversation needs to be said, because even as the man, if all of a sudden you see her out with somebody else, or she calls, or you call her that next, that Saturday, hey, we're going out. She says, I have plans. Or she doesn't say, I'm going with my sorority sisters, or I'm going with my coworkers, whatever. You're looking crazy.
Now you like, wait a minute.
You're like, wait a minute. So, and one thing I've realized, people put it on women who want titles a lot, but men like titles even more. Because it's a thing, you're like, well, where are we at with this? They might, like, in front of their boys, they'll talk like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this, I'm doing that.
So how long was it before you asked your girlfriend to be your girlfriend? Did you say, will you go with me? Will you go steady?
No.
What word did you, was there an Ohioan way that you did this? I mean, how did you move it from A to B?
It was more like, I like how you put, this is going to come back on you, so that you did.
What did I do? What did I say?
Just so you know.
I'm just asking
just
questions.
So you know.
I feel like the people want to know this. Everything. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get tutelage.
So after we were dating for a while, spending weekends and stuff together, actually she brought it, because for me, I was like, this is great. I'm having a great time. but you have to be cognizant of other people's feelings as well. And so you're like, yeah, we're exclusive, we're dating. That was it. That's basically it. And, I can't be the old man in the club.
Right.
You can't. You're at the club. You have gray hair. You're like, they're expecting you to buy drinks.
Right.
You're like, no, I'm not doing that.
And see, I feel like what you're saying, that's a really good point right there, right? Like at some point, you recognize that. I feel like at some point, one recognizes that they're over 50. And do you want to be that 50-year-old, 50-something hanging out at the club, trying to get a number, trying to,
Or you're buying. Well, first of all, when you're over 50, you're buying $900 shoes for these chicks.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
No,
That's what you're doing.
I wish I would. So,
I mean,
No. But
we can look at your shoe game. Shoe game. I feel like I take the mic with me. The mic ain't gonna go with me, but if it could, you'd see.
For myself, yes. But when you see these older men with these, when you see a 58-year-old man with a 20-some-year-old woman, you're like, he's paying for everything. He's literally, you see, you're like, this makes sense. I mean, it's a, you choose to do what you want. You choose to do what you want to do.
Right.
Also, over 50, you have to think about with your relationship, it's not the same as when you're in your 20s and 30s. So if you're looking at getting remarried or continue with this relationship, you are looking at this person more or less as not just, hey, we're in love, you're cute, whatever, because unlike you and I, other people haven't maintained that. So as they get older, your looks fade. So you have to make sure this is someone that you physically,
absolutely,
that you're mentally attracted to, someone that you can build with, and things like that. So
I think that's a really good point. If I can pick up on that too, because one of the really big differences, right, is that truly I feel like when you're younger, the younger you are, the more that beauty is all the way to the soul. So if somebody is cute, you're like, oh my God, they're so fine, they're so bad. You don't think, but the older you get, truly, I feel like you find that beauty is merely skin deep. And it's really, wisdom is like, youth is, oh my God, they're so fine, I love them. Wisdom is, they're really cute, but what are they really about? Do they make me happy? Are they checking for me? Are they thinking about me? Don't you think those things are much more important now at 50? I mean,
they are much more important. First, because you have to make sure that I want to see this person every day. Like during, like they say in marriage, sickness and in health. As you get older, you need, people, different things happen. You need different things happen in your life. Whether it might be death of a parent, it might be you get sick, she gets sick, one of their parents might get sick. So if you're going to marry this person, you need to make sure you all are compatible with those things as well. And I think those are a lot of things. In fact, I know I didn't do when I was younger and got married. I did not do it.
Right.
I literally the boxes I checked were extreme, nice looking, smart, potential. I didn't look at, they were more superficial.
Right.
Whereas as I'm older now, I'm looking at like, okay, what are you going to do? What does your retirement look like? Are you going to be living off my retirement?
Do you have good credit?
Do you have good credit? Can we buy a house together? Can we buy a car? If I go to the bathroom when the check comes, can you pay for the check?
Right.
Because when I look at,
like, these are all serious
things.
These are real deal questions. Right. We real past what kind of movies and science fiction do you like and whatever.
It's like, so when you look, when I first got divorced, I was like, I was torn between marriage. To an extent, and I believe in marriage a lot. I think it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best institutions if you find the right person.
Right.
Would I remarry again? Yes, I definitely would remarry again. I would. Yeah, I definitely would remarry again.
You know what? One of the things I definitely would get remarried too, but one of the things that I feel like that I've evolved on personally is the notion of words or titles versus actions. Right. So like to me, the younger you were, you're more about, are you my girlfriend? Are you my boyfriend? There was like I remember when I was in junior high school, it was, will you go with me? Like there was I don't know if you
The
remember
letters.
that. I don't know if anybody
yeah.
said that. Do the young people say, will you go with me? I don't know, but
I don't think they do that
we used to
anymore.
be like, yo, will you go with me? Everything was very formal. You know, if you wanted a girl to dance, you had to ask
her to
a woman
dance,
to dance.
yeah.
You couldn't like
You couldn't you couldn't send her a Snapchat.
Yes. So relationships have always, I feel like, are about action. It's about action. You could say, you could call something anything. You could be like, oh, you my girlfriend, you my boyfriend, but you, and so you might feel good because I say to you, you're my girlfriend. But if I am not with you on Friday or Saturday, if when I'm with you, I'm always looking at my phone. If my phone is ringing off the hook and you know and I
think that's more of a different problem. I think the fact that if you're with your significant other and you're on your phone all the time, it's always ringing. Those things, and I'm not trying to put any of my friends out.
Because some people have just a nervous reaction. Their phone is almost
phone,
like an
or
addiction.
it might be a work thing. You know, it could be work. But at some point, if it's Saturday night at 11:30, 12 o'clock, at this age, most of your friends aren't calling you. They're texting you. If you are calling me at 12 o'clock, I'm kind of worried about it. When you're calling me at 11, 12 o'clock, or even if my family members, they call back to back, I'm like, there's a reason. And usually it's not. It's usually my mom calling me to ask me what channel Discovery's on.
Yeah.
And but other than that, I do believe in people getting married over 50. I think you should get married at any age.
I definitely
if
feel
you're
like
70, I think people need companionship.
Absolutely.
And I'll say one thing about being when you're in a relationship, you get invited to a lot more things.
Oh my gosh. Stop that. You will be at home alone and
You get invited to a
alone.
lot. You get invited because
The relationship having people will hate on you. They will, and you can't do it.
it's like, yeah.
It's either you with them or you're not.
And and married people invite
Other married people.
Because I can tell you when both of us were married, we hung in a married crowd. So everything we did was married.
But do you think it was the guys or the girls that
It's
were
the
keeping
women.
it? It's absolutely
Oh,
the women, yo. I mean, that's
women.
going to have to be another poll question.
the
The women run the social scenario.
But what we have to do, we're gonna go to our break, and we're gonna bring Carmen back. 'Cause Carmen has the information about. She has some poll answers for us that we need to hear. So our resident Carmen, who has her ear to the ground.
Yes.
She knows everything. So we're gonna hear what she has to say about this whole remarrying over 50.
Now, wait, correction. There's only one person here who knows everything, and that is you.
That is true.
Okay,
And
we gotta get that stuff straight.
That is true.
Okay.
Right. And the things
No offense, Carmen.
and the things I don't know about, I don't talk about.
Okay, that's right. That's right. I second that.
I don't talk about Bitcoin.
And I won't say that you don't know what you're talking about ever.
Thank you.
Okay, there we go. We agree with that.
All right.
Carmen, what you got for us?
All right, so welcome back, everyone. We have our resident Carmen. How you doing, Carm?
I'm doing good.
You
Doing good, guys.
You
Yeah.
doing good? Doing good? Doing
Bring
good.
it on in. We know we
All
need them
right.
facts. We need
Yeah,
them facts.
man.
We got to get to the bottom
All
of it.
right, refer to me as Zaddy.
Oh, wow. What would your girlfriend say?
She calls me Zaddy.
All right.
Yeah, that's Zaddy. Like that's I'm sorry.
Right. That's how you roll.
Yeah, like Zaddy.
Right. Aspirational.
That's the term.
Okay.
It's a new
Oh,
term.
no.
Slugger Zaddy. Zaddy Slugger. So Carmen
That
is
has
gonna,
lots of meaning, doesn't it?
Slugger's the nickname. So Carmen is back with our poll because she has her ear to the ground,
Streets.
to the streets, to the
is
ground.
talking.
The streets are talking. So what is the street saying?
All right. So I'm going to just remind everyone what the question was.
Okay.
All right. How do you define a girlfriend/boyfriend over 50? So I have some interesting answers. You guys are going to kick out of these.
Okay.
All right. Number one, senior discount buddies.
What? Senior discount buddies.
You mean like ARP?
I mean, they didn't go into much detail. I was thinking maybe AARP, but like yeah.
That
Or
does
like
sound like that.
or the
does
golden,
sound like the
or
AARP.
like in Ohio, they have the golden Buckeye card.
Right, right.
And you get like, and my mom uses it. She's mad when they don't give her 10%.
Exactly.
I can
And
tell you that now.
And at some movie theaters, if you over 50, you might be able to get $5 off. And
I
want
still use-
every discount.
and I still
shawty,
use my
every discount.
I use my college ID. I still have an old one. I'm like, no, I'm getting the
Oh
discount.
wow.
And for my masters, I have one. I'm like, no, I'm getting the discount.
Okay, so you want to be Zaddy, but you still want to be. I'm confused. I mean, you college ID is Zaddy.
Look, sometime if I'm by myself, I'm going to the movies. I'm going to use the discount. Why not?
Exactly. I'm
I mean,
on the
triple-
older. I'm just going up.
Triple A. I'm
Right.
using AAA discount.
At 60, there's whole new levels of discounts. At 65, the golf rules change. So I mean, life is only going to get better. I
That's true.
promise you. I've really these 50s. This is
Your
where
insurance
this is where
goes.
the game really begins.
We had to hear the rest of this poll. We gotta hear the
No,
rest
I'm
of the
sorry.
poll.
I'm sorry. We digress.
We digress. We digress.
Get
They
us
look
back
into
on
the
track.
future. That's great. Look to
Okay.
the future, guys.
Right.
That's fantastic. Next up, you put them on your Costco card. Okay.
Okay.
One after that, special friend. Okay. One after that,
That's when you die.
a partner. I thought a special.
A special friend is when you
Special
die.
friend.
They-
And you're not the.
Yeah,
it
that's
was never
when-
exclusive.
Yeah,
Right.
they write that on the obituary.
Right,
His
right.
special
That's
friend.
the one you ride out with.
Yeah, I
At
don't-
the very bottom.
Yeah,
Right.
and his special friend. You're
Right.
like,
Oh, okay.
okay, yeah. I don't want to be a special friend.
Right. No.
What about a partner? Someone said partner.
Partnership is always good.
Partnership
Partner
is that?
that's the highest. I mean, that's
You're my partner.
synonymous
You hear
with-
people say you're my life partner, or this is
Yeah.
my life partner,
or my partner. Partner is
Okay.
synonymous with marriage to me.
That's commitment.
That is
Okay.
you locked in. That's yeah.
All right.
You signed some things.
I
We
would
got
be-
some more
partner.
over here.
Partner is more, I think, someone uses in a different sexual tone.
Not
I
anymore.
think so.
Not
I think
anymore.
so. No, you're wrong there, buddy. But you are from Ohio. I think that's that old school. That's
If a
that
man,
more.
I put it this way, if a man says to me he has a partner, you're gonna assume the partner is
I'm gonna
the
tell you
same
what though.
sex.
Can I just say this
Oh,
though?
I can see how that would happen, but
Right.
I think that's because the way you grew up.
But you don't want to say that anymore. I'm going to give you a story of why you don't want to say that. So I always say partner now. I was on a big sales call trying to close a big deal.
Okay.
And one of the other clients got on there. We're in New York.
Okay.
And we're on get on the high speed elevator, go up to whatever
Right.
the 50th floor was, whatever. And I'm trying to make conversation with the client. And I get on the elevator, and I said, oh, we're talking about what he did this weekend. And I was like, so he said, yeah, well, I went to this thing, and I was like, oh, you and your wife went to this and that third. He was like, no, my partner. And I was like, ding, ding, the ding. Like, so now what I realize is you can't really assume that marriage or that partner, you can't assume that that's hetero or same sex or what have you. So now I just say partner, because that conveys the respect level of the relationship without having to get into what the dynamics are.
Can you do me a favor? If you ever refer to something you and I have, like if we went and went bike riding, don't say you went with your
So
partner.
don't say we're partners on
Yeah.
this podcast.
Like
we're co-hosts. We're
You can say partners.
oh, you want an adjective in
We're-
front.
we're
You want
bus-
adjectives.
We can be a business partner, but I don't want to be like a part. Like
What
your
about you?
partner.
You my partner.
There you go.
Like,
That's
you my
different.
You my partner.
That's different.
So it's
That's
there's
different.
You're my partner.
Right. So
And then
right.
there's you're my partner.
Right.
There you
And then
go.
that's my business partner.
So
Boom.
okay, so let's hear the rest of these poll questions.
I think you're
I'm
gonna
sorry.
like them.
Okay.
We
Oh,
have
go ahead,
some.
go ahead.
We have a couple more. All right, we have the mutual agreement of exclusivity.
Okay, I like that.
I like that one.
I like-
That's
I like-
very
I
adult.
like that one.
We're
I like
getting
that
more
one.
and more legalese.
Okay.
Okay, and we have a couple more. All right, someone you are mutually exclusive with, romantically and physically.
Okay.
Okay, someone also said a snuggle buddy that has a separate address.
A
Snuggle
snuggle buddy
buddy.
with a separate
Snuggle
address.
address.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's what we have. I think that over a certain age, you shouldn't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend anymore. That should be your man or your woman,
Wow. Wow.
So
or
Carmen,
your non-gender. What is it
Are
called?
you saying
non-gender?
that
yeah.
sounds
Not
very
gingerbread.
ageist. I mean, you are just. I mean, what?
I mean, at that point,
So
I
what
feel like
point?
after y'all have gone on like 2 dates of serious, because adults are like, I know what I want and I want it
No,
now.
we don't.
Is that what
no,
we are?
We have no.
Wow.
We have
I
no
feel
clue.
like you guys
We-
do.
we have no.
I feel
we
like-
have no clue what we want.
Carmen, you got a long way to go,
So-
girl.
I have no
You
idea.
are-
So Carmen, what do you consider yourself in?
I am in a relationship. When I introduce my
Mhm.
my boyfriend to like my close friends, I call him my baby daddy.
Ooh.
Do I have kids?
Okay.
No.
Okay. No, but
Okay.
that,
Well,
she's
well, yes, but
foreshadowing.
no, no,
She's
no.
foreshadowing. She's saying that
It's
I'm
my
gonna birth his kids.
it's
Okay.
my baby daddy.
All right, baby
That's
daddy.
serious. I like that.
All right, I have to. all
Baby
right.
daddy. I mean, that's
It's
real.
funny. I think it's hilarious. It makes like Uber drivers very uncomfortable.
But it does say what the situation. That does say how serious the relationship is.
Yeah, it just
for
I'm
sure.
just letting you know.
For sure.
This is my baby.
But,
Okay.
but what Carmen said is interesting is she said, now when you get our age or you all's age, I still feel some type of way about what you said. She said, shouldn't it just be straight that you all are together? Like, so so
Yeah,
at
that-
50, should
yeah.
you just automatically be exclusive? Is the player card is it turned in at 50?
Is your player card turned in at 50? No.
First of all, don't acknowledge that there is a player card.
Why would you do that? You should have been like, I don't even have one of those. Never
Well,
knew
I'm just trying
existed.
to
I'm
Well,
just asking for a
well,
friend.
because- well, the
Like,
thing
I'm
is,
just trying to ask some questions here.
I like to do a group. I'm looking across the board. So what's right for me, it may not really be right for you or someone else. So do I have friends who have a player card, a full? Yes, and it's hilarious.
Yes.
It's actually hilarious, and it's hilarious. And actually, you can living vicariously through them in their player cards because they've had them since we were like 19, and you're like, wow,
Yeah.
this is really
I know what that is.
interesting.
And you know cats that have the player card really because like social media, I feel like has done a lot to reveal the mugs with it. Because you know how there's some people that 1 month they on Facebook or whatever with somebody, and then all of a sudden you're like 6 months later you see them with another person. You're
There's
like, wait a
something
minute,
wrong.
What?
There's something wrong with them. People who continuously have a new boo thing
over 50, but in general or over 50, you saying you can't, like what Carmen said, you saying the game got to change over
No,
50?
I'm just no. When you see that person on Facebook, I should see the same person that you had those Christmas pajamas on. I should see them on Valentine's Day as well. I should not see a new person in a that's there's
true.
something wrong.
That's right. You got a season for each one.
Like there's something wrong with
Seasonal.
that person, and I have friends like that. Like I'm like, wait a minute, I just saw you booed up with their family, kids, everything, Christmas, and then now it's Valentine's Day, and y'all aren't even Facebook friends anymore. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
On like what you fell out Martin Luther King Day? What?
It was the President's Day sale.
I'm like, this is like, so Carmen, do we have any other? No one said Zaddy, huh?
No, well, I don't know. Did y'all answer the question?
No, we didn't.
So give me your answers right quick before I gotta go, because I got to go.
So how do you find? I define it. You've been dating. You've had a conversation. Yeah. Once you've been dating a certain amount of time, I think you have a conversation about it. You need to know what the other person is, what their goals are, what they're going to do. Do they feel, are you all heading in the right direction? It's not like you're 20 where you have all these years you can keep doing putt golf and all that. No one, you're 50. I'm not doing putt golf all the time. So do we want to travel together? Things like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think that, again, I look at it more so than the terms. I truly believe in the actions. Like, for instance, if you go over somebody's crib and, you know that plate was there or that's your glass, or maybe you might have a toothbrush in there, or maybe there's a shelf where your friend or partner, you can put some of your clothes there, etc. I think that there are actions which show that you're the person.
I think once you have a drawer, that's a little past that, I think. But okay. if all of a sudden I come to second date and there's a drawer there at the
Oh wait,
house,
second date. I didn't say it was a second date is like slow down, shorty. I mean,
I'm like,
second date.
whoa,
You ain't even had enough drawers over there to have a
Right,
drawer
you're like,
at the
wait a
second
minute.
date. I mean,
You're like,
like,
wait
you
a
moving
minute.
fast. Pump the brakes.
Right.
Thanks a
Okay.
lot, Carmen. I appreciate it. You always have some good insight. Keep it coming, girl. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Right.
Uncles.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
People, I will say, see,
Uncles,
uncles.
uncles is good. That's
I
good.
like
yeah,
uncle.
yeah.
There's some
yeah,
respect. Put some respect on our
yeah.
name.
That means
You know what I'm saying?
that means you're not old. That means you're still cool.
811 crew, and we are back at you. This has been a great talking about kind of the new rules of how you deal with your life in your home, how you deal with your kids, how you deal with dating, how you define the people in your life or the person in life what you're dealing with. What we want to talk about also now, the question is, relationships, the definition of them, how we feel, our emotional state, all relates to how we're operating mentally.
True. Right.
Now, with the 811 crew, as you said, one thing that happens is what we know is over 50 starts to happen.
That's
Things
true.
can happen,
That's very true.
and that really affect you mentally. And there are things and it's a myriad of things. And anybody who says to you that they strong, they don't need help, stop all that. That is just that you sound really young if you say that. I'm here to say it, and I'm not going to say it for you, but I know that life is real and that I have many times sought help from a therapist, from counselors. I've gone to individual counseling, group counseling for issues that I still deal with. I went to marriage counseling. I fundamentally believe that counseling is critical to mental wellness. We're going to talk about that in our next episode.
Yeah, I've done group therapy. I've done one-on-one. I did marriage therapy, which was hilarious. But the other therapy was very therapeutic. Mm-hmm. And what people have to realize about therapy, there are no answers in therapy. Your therapist is not going to tell you,
hey, that's it. You're right.
That's it. That's right. They just help you cope and understand what's going on. Yeah. And I think people need to understand that first. So when you go, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help or having someone to talk to.
Absolutely.
And I've realized from talking to male friends, I used to always talk to my male friends, female friends about things, but when they're your friends, they're, some friends can be objective, like you're objective, but you're always on my side. So, and vice versa. But so I think when you see a therapist, you're telling them they don't know, they don't have a side.
Right.
They're just more or less listening, giving you some type of guidance. Being in a group therapy is even more interesting. For group therapy, you realize you're a lot stronger than other people.
Absolutely.
And I think the way the world's going now, therapy, it should be a mandatory thing.
It really should.
I really think COVID messed a lot of people up. Unlike me, I loved COVID. Being home and...
That's because you still ain't got COVID.
That was true.
Well, I mean,
I didn't get COVID
with them genes.
But but COVID, I got in contact with my friends. I grilled.
Yeah.
I did all those things. We started biking during COVID.
We did. Well, mental wellness we know is really critical, and one of the things that we want to ask, our question of the day, in preparation for our next episode is, have you ever seen a therapist or counselor out there? We want to talk to our audience. We want, we really want folk to get real. And we really want to find out, are people talking about this? Are people seeing a therapist, a counselor? I'm really curious what percentage of people really are open to, to a disinterested third party. It's been great for you. We both believe in it. It'll be really great to hear what our audience feels about it. And on our next episode to talk about some of those triggers and how we cope.
And also, I think with therapy, there's a stigmatism among races as well.
Right. But that my astigmatism is in my eye. You mean a stigma?
Stigma.
But I was an English man. I'm sorry. We digress. I think we're done for this episode. Let's end on astigmatism. Can we see the end? Right there we go. We'll be back, y'all. This is real great, healthy for our mental. 811 crew, and we out next time.
Come on.